So, if you could just say something about yourselves, who you are, and
Yeah, so I'm Sam. I have spent most of my life as an atheist. I did go to a Christian primary school, and I did believe in God then, but when I went to secondary school, that's when I'd say I became an atheist. Um, Around 2 years ago, I started finding God again. Um, and the more time I spent studying parts of the Bible, looking more into the faith, especially Catholicism, um, I, uh, I felt things start to make more sense. I was getting shown signs, um, and it just so happened that uh, Laura found yourself through your mum, I think, wasn't it? Was it through your mum?
Yeah.
Um, and it just seems like the right timing. It felt like it was God showing us a sign that we should be here to learn more. Yeah, and here we are, and things are going really well. It's been really, really good being around other people in very similar situations to ourselves, wanting to learn more. Yeah.
And I'm Laura. So I was brought up a Catholic, and I went to St George's School. Obviously, I used to come to church in St George's Church every Sunday as I was growing up. And then I can't really remember how old I was, but I was given my mum said to me, you know, you're old enough now to make your own decision if you want to come to church or not. And I was a teenager. So I was like, no, I don't want to go anymore. I didn't really understand, although I was brought up a Catholic, I didn't really understand much, I would say, in depth about Catholicism. And yeah, so I kind of lost my way and just went about life as a teenager and as a young adult. And then it's only really recently, I suppose, I don't really know off the top of my head what kind of brought it all on, but I think we were both just drawn into Catholicism and into following God and finding out more, and then it's just gone from strength to strength, really. Yeah, so
it's beautiful. And I'm struck listening to you both. It's quite a big step, to come and make contact. And I think probably there might be others out there who are wanting to do that, but a little bit scared. Is there anything you want to say to them?
Try and find a class with the church, and I think that was the best way for us to get closer and learning more. Everyone's so friendly. No one seems to judge, so don't be afraid of that. That's something I was concerned of, but I feel as if now, thinking back on that was just all in my mind, because it's some of the nicest people I've met. So yeah.
I'd agree, and I'd say that just reach out to like your local parish, your local priest, or anyone that you know that might be religious, because you're all of the same mind. It's not like a hobby, if you wanted to start swimming lessons or something like that. It's a lot deeper, I would say. So yeah, not to be afraid or nervous in that regard, because you share the same faith, which is totally different to like a hobby or anything like that.
And what struck me when you were talking about faith, you were both talking about a relationship, that actually was something that drew you. It was really not just an idea, it was a sense of God kind of speaking to you, calling you. I wonder if you could say a little bit about that relationship with God and what it means for you.
It's hard to describe, I'd say, but it seems just pure and love, and I don't know.
For me, I feel like there's something there that I just can't describe. It's almost like yeah, it's so hard to describe, but I feel literally like the day that our daughter was born, or our son was born, that feeling in your heart of like you feel like warm and fuzzy, and that's how I feel. Like, and you just know there's something there. And I think, even though obviously I was brought, as I said before, I was brought up a Catholic, and I lost my way, but I never stopped believing in God. But I've never had a relationship with God as I do now, and I think, yeah, I think that's quite special to me.
And when you're feeling down
Yeah,
or just not in a good place, sometimes
negative.
all it can take is a prayer to God, and
puts you in that mindset
yeah,
straight away,
yeah.
and kind of it grounds me and makes me think of what's important and what's not important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's beautiful, that real sense of the centering on God that's hard to describe, because I think something in that relationship almost goes beyond words, goes beyond, but I can see it so deep in both of you. I'm wondering for you, Sam, because obviously you said, you grew up atheist and with no faith at all, and I think that's probably true of a lot of people in our country today. If you could say a little bit more about that sort of journey from atheism to belief.
Yeah, so I found myself before I found myself as an atheist it started to become hypocritical, because I would notice things that would happen in life, like coincidences and things like that, and I would describe it as, oh, the universe works in mysterious ways, or the universe did this or did that. When if you're going to be scientific, the universe doesn't work in these, according to science, doesn't work in these ways. It's almost magical, but yeah. So to call it the universe seems hypocritical. It took me a while to realise that that's actually God, and then when I learnt more about the Bible and God, it made a lot more sense. Rather than just thinking things are coincidences, or so yeah, I don't really know exactly what points happened, where things happened that made me believe more in God. But I think it's something that started off slow. I started to question things. And then it was almost like I was shown signs.
That you were on the right path.
Yeah, that's
and God was being, kind of saying, keep going, keep looking, you're on the right path.
Yeah, and I feel like the more I moved away from that, the more unhappy I felt, or more lonely I felt. So.
I think that's so powerful, and that sense of the unhappiness, that actually deep down we're all looking for something. It's St. Augustine who famously says our hearts are restless until they find their rest in you. And there's something that's kind of missing for us, and often we look for it in the wrong places. But it sounds like you found something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
I always think back to one of the classes we did not that long ago. I think it was a video that we watched, and they said that exact quote of, that everybody's looking for something, and I think that's so true. You feel like now that we found God, you feel complete. So, yeah.
That's beautiful, and that's probably a lovely place to finish. So just to say a huge thank you to you both for doing this video. And for a very, very warm welcome from our parish community.
Thanks for having us.